Konnichiwa minasan, Alex here. In this video, we're going to revel in the nightlife of Kamurocho and Sotenbori as we review Yakuza Kiwami 2 hours later. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is a remake of Yakuza 2, originally released on the PS2 in 2006. Yakuza Kiwami 2's story is set a year after the events of the first Yakuza game. Kazuma Kiryu has retired from the Tojo clan, attempting to live the life of a civilian and walking away from his past life. But despite his best intentions, he's quickly caught in the turmoil that ensues as the Omi Alliance, a rival clan from the west, attempts to completely eliminate the Tojo clan. In the hopes of de-escalating the situation, the Tojo clan sends Kiryu on a diplomatic mission to see if the Omi Alliance and the Tojo clan can come to an agreement. What follows is a whirlwind tale of intrigue, betrayal, and mysterious alliances that only the Yakuza series is uniquely positioned to tell. Unlike Yakuza Kiwami before it, Yakuza Kiwami 2 utilizes the Dragon Engine introduced in Yakuza 6, and, as such, part of this review will be talking about how the engine has changed since that game. This also means that exploring the world of Yakuza Kiwami 2 feels much more seamless than in Yakuza 2, minimizing the loading times between indoor and outdoor environments and getting you in and out of the action much faster. Yakuza Kiwami 2 also features full access to all of Kamurocho, complete with numerous nooks and crannies that you were never able to explore in previous games. Meanwhile, Sotenbori makes its first appearance in the Dragon Engine, retaining the same scale and representation as in the original game, but with all the conveniences that the new engine provides. Yakuza 6's experience point system makes a return in Yakuza Kiwami 2. You gain experience points by engaging in various activities, and you can spend these points to buy Kiryu new moves, improve his stats, and even the ability to gain more experience points or money in certain activities. I've mentioned this before, but I love filling up Kiryu with food, then fighting enemies to make him hungry again, and repeating this loop over and over. However, there's also an addition to this gameplay loop that's unique to this game, and I'll be elaborating on this later in this review. The cost of each stat and ability have been tuned and balanced in Yakuza Kiwami 2. It's because of this that unlocking stats and abilities and heat moves feel a little bit more spread out throughout your adventure. This change actually feels really good, as I thought that unlocking stronger stats in Yakuza 6 felt a bit too fast, and Kiryu wound up being super powerful early on in that game. New to Yakuza Kiwami 2 are allies, which are heat moves that you can activate when near certain NPCs. These NPCs are part of sub-stories in the game, and completing these sub-stories will allow you to purchase their associated heat moves, allowing Kiryu to summon said NPCs to provide assistance whenever you're in their neck of the woods. It's a nice addition, but one that players can easily miss should they gloss over some of the sub-stories. The combat has been improved as well. Yakuza Kiwami 2 features the return of charged moves and its debut using the new engine, which allows you to deliver more powerful versions of your attacks just by merely holding down the attack buttons longer. Extreme Heat Mode makes its return as well, though it shows up much later in the game. Overall, the combat system of Yakuza Kiwami 2 feels better than in Yakuza 6, as Kiryu feels a bit more responsive and even a little bit quicker than the aforementioned game. But I still can't help but feel that the different styles introduced in Yakuza 0 and Kiwami provided much more depth and experimentation than what Kiwami 2 currently offers. All of the sub-stories from the original PS2 release make their transition to Yakuza Kiwami 2. Much like the original game, a lot of these sub-stories come without any spoken dialogue, which is a surprise given that Yakuza 6 featured fully voiced sub-stories. That said, several choice sub-story moments in Yakuza Kiwami 2 are actually given voiced cutscenes, and help make these sub-stories feel as though they're just as important as the main story of the game. Rounding up the sub-stories are the numerous mini-games that will spice up your Yakuza Kiwami 2 experience. Casinos not only make a return in the game, but also the highly popular Cabaret Club management sim from Yakuza 0, and a recently debuted clan creator from Yakuza 6. The Cabaret Club minigame received a ton of quality of life updates and features to make the gameplay feel much better than its original outing, and the clan creator feels much more strategic and rewarding, albeit still grindy, than its debut. Accompanying these two minigames is the first ever Yakuza playable version of Virtuon, the return of Virtua Fighter 2, Gravure Photo Sessions, And, toilet sensation, toilets. Yes, toilets, with a Y. Remember when I said earlier that there was a mechanic that actually adds itself to the gameplay loop of eating, beating enemies, and so on and so forth? Toilets actually completes this loop. In Yakuza 6, you could actually use vending machines to buff up Kiryu in different ways. But because their actual experience point rewards were so small, I never truly understood why you'd spend the time to just get a temporary buff as opposed to just spending a small amount of time eating food to fill Kiryu up. With Yakuza Kiwami 2, consuming large amounts of vending machine beverages build up your bladder meter until it reaches 3,000. So these days, I get Kiryu filled up by eating a ton of food, drinking my favorite vending machine beverage, more money and or more experience is nice, and repeating the loop until Kiryu's bladder is full. When that happens, it's off to the toilets. And if you win, you might even get some items for all that effort. Much like Kiwami before it, Yakuza Kiwami 2 stands out amongst the other games in the series as quote-unquote not just another remake, but a complete reimagining of a game that came out more than a decade ago using today's technology. As such, the localization honors the legacy of the original game, while at the same time acknowledging the discoveries we've made about Kazuma Kiryu through his more recent games. Classic lines such as "I peacocked your mom" still find its way in this game, complete with nods and winks to players who've supported the series since the beginning. And maybe it's just me, but Yakuza Kiwami 2 overall feels so much larger and more epic than Kiwami in so many ways. Maybe that's rightfully so, given that its story is beloved amongst veteran Yakuza fans. As a bonus for fans of Goro Majima, you can unlock a short set of chapters called the Majima Saga. Unlike Kiryu, Majima doesn't have a progression system to speak of, and his story clearly serves as a side dish to Kiryu's story. That said, it is interesting to play as Majima without the style switching popularized in Yakuza 0. Majima Saga's chapters are locked behind the main story, so I highly recommend finishing the game first so you can play it all the way through. Overall, it's nice to be able to play the Mad Dog of Shimano again, but I didn't really find the whole experience enjoyable, given that the whole thing felt like a heavily neutered Yakuza Kiwami 2 experience. Despite that, Yakuza Kiwami 2 feels so much larger than any typical remake that it feels more like the ultimate celebration of the series' past and present in the best possible ways. I can honestly say that despite not having played the original game through, that I could feel that there was a ton of love and care that was spent to make sure that this game stands out as a statement of what makes the series great. And not only does Yakuza Kiwami 2 successfully demonstrate this, but it also leaves us with the impression that the series, despite Kiryu's journey concluding this year, is still just beginning, and that the best is yet to come.